Hi, I'm Marc Cherry, creator and executive producer of Desperate Housewives. And this is
Neal McDonough playing Dave Williams this year.
And we are going to be here on abc.com answering your questions.
He did say ABC. He did say ABC. Right in the get-go said ABC.
Oh, honey, okay.
Yeah.
If your character could have an affair with any of the housewives, who would you pick?
My wife doesn't count? My real-life wife?
No, your wife's not on the show.
On Housewives, well, you know, I'll have to say that the person, you know, other than Nicolette that I've enjoyed working with so much has to be Terry. She's such a wonderful actor and a great person, and you know, and a mother and a parent like I am, and she's pretty darn terrific. So I guess it would have to be that way.
Okay, that was a really good dodge because you noticed he said worked with. He's a very honorable man towards his wife. So, all right, you often play menacing roles. Do you ever long to just play the funny guy?
It's funny, when I first came out to California, I wanted to be a comedian, and that's how it kind of started. And I did lots of funny roles to start with, and then all of a sudden they wanted the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy to play the villain. And you know, the last few years I've done several movies and TV shows. This one obviously being my favorite of playing the bad guy, but playing the gray area of characters is something I've always gravitated towards. And you know, you have given me, Mark, the ability to play Dave Williams, who is about as gray as it gets, and I'm having a blast doing it.
I actually have a theory about why you're such a good villain. Your eyes are such a light blue color that they become piercing, and it's just an eerie effect sometimes because you can see you know, even in a distant shot, like that, you know, you can bore down on people in a way that other actors can't. So.
Yeah, and it's you know, I think sometimes when I'm playing a happier character, you would never think that of him as being an evil guy at all. But then, with a different thought in my mind, playing Dave Williams or other characters that I've played, it's definitely more chilling, the blue. And so, and I'm having a great time with it. Who's the biggest prankster on the set? Does anyone play pranks on you?
They're too smart to play pranks on me, I must say at this point. But mostly I would have to say Felicity Huffman. One time I was coming into the soundstage and she just like stood behind the door and scared the hell out of me. And I, kind of reacted to that. And also one time she jumped on my golf cart as I was driving away and scared the heck out of me. So for all her Oscar-nominated grandness, she can be a big old kid sometimes, which I like, when she doesn't, cause me to have a heart attack. Have the other actors accepted you with open arms since you're the new guy?
Mark gave me kind of the keys to the kingdom early on in the season, saying, okay, this is what your character's going to do because you're the mystery of the year. And as episodes would go on, Mrs. McCluskey was the first. She became so sweet to me because she knew something was going on, and she feared that she possibly might be written off the show or killed off the show. So I think everyone has been so nice to me this year because they literally think that something might change and they might be knocked off the show or something because I keep it such a secret, because Mark said, you have to keep this a secret. So I think that's the only reason why everyone's so nice to me on the show.
Because they know that you could cause their death.
Exactly. Yeah. How did you come up with the name Wisteria Lane? Dylan from McHenry, Illinois.
There's a story behind this. I don't know how interesting it is, but here's the story. Years ago, I used to read a thing called the Book of Lists, and one of the lists on it was the 10 most beautiful words in the English language. Among these words were words like lullaby, gonorrhea, which, whoever put this list together thought that was a beautiful, beautiful word, but one of the words was wisteria. They thought that that was just a gorgeous word, and so that was in the back of my head. I've always thought it was kind of a pretty word, too. So when I was coming up with a place for the show to take place, I thought, maybe we'll call it Wisteria Lane. And I thought Lane was pastoral, and promised beautiful vistas. So I joined the two words together. One of the critics who reviewed the show complimented me on my use of the word wisteria, because apparently wisteria is a vine that looks very pretty on the outside, but its root structure is very damaging and insidious underneath the soil. And so this critic thought that I had come up with something that was, symbolic of the nature of people's personal secrets and how everyone puts on a nice front.
Wisteria, I believe, chokes out
other plant forms.
That's right.
Absolutely. I had no idea of this. I didn't know, crap about wisteria as a plant. But I just used that because I thought it was a pretty name. And like a lot of things having to do with Desperate Housewives, I lucked into something that made me look far smarter than I really am. So that's the story.
Don't buy that for a second.
Well, that's nice.
Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Again, this is Marc Cherry, creator and executive producer of Desperate Housewives.
And Neal McDonough, Dave Williams.
Tune in next week for an all-new episode of Desperate Housewives. Sundays at 9, 8 Central. Thank you so much for joining us on abc.com.
That was great.